Welcome back. You're still watching Technoholik. Now, one of the biggest pieces of news to hit the tech industry after a very long time, Facebook bought the app Instagram this week for $1 billion. The 2-year-old photo sharing app with about 30 million users is now part of Facebook's flock. So what went behind this very expensive deal? And if you haven't used Instagram yet, we tell you that too in our next story. Over 6 billion photos are uploaded to Flickr each day, and over 100 billion photos on Facebook in 2011 itself. The human race, which loves to capture each moment and make it into a digital memory, is now what companies are fighting over. Instagram, a free app that lets you convert your pictures into pics from the 80s like Polaroids with a bunch of inbuilt filters, has a small piece of the pie with just 30 million users, but it will go down in history as the guys who made it big. Big enough to give the Lord Facebook a scare. Exclusively only for the iOS users first, Instagram was introduced to the App Store in 2010 and was a rage. In 2012, the Androiders got their version 2 and it was downloaded more than 6 million times in just a matter of 12 days. The Stanford billionaires, as we might like to call them, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, founded the company with about $500,000 from the investor community. As more users got into the old-school photo field, another 7 million was pumped in, which was followed by about 50 million, which put the app at about 500 million worth. With more than 1 billion photos uploaded to its own photo social network, it was proving to be a force to reckon with. And Facebook swallowed that force whole by buying that dreamy app, Instagram, for about $1 billion. Will a 2-year-old app survive the Facebook power now that it's under its belt? What will Faceagram be like? Only time will tell. But for now, let's leave you with a thought. Photos are not just memories anymore. It's money, honey. The user is where the buck stops. A simple idea which got built into a 13-employee company, which will now go down in history as one of the biggest app acquisitions ever. And to tell us exactly how Instagram became worth $1 billion and the future of the app industry, Sudhir Chal, our man who tracks the startups, is here on Technoholik this week. Thanks, Sudhir, for being on the show.
Always a pleasure, Radhika.
And Instagram, come on. One big success story, $1 billion. How exactly did it come to this valuation?
Instagram or $1 billion a gram?
There you go, Instagram or $1 billion a gram. I was going to stick to Faceagram, but that is a new one completely altogether.
Absolutely. I think what Instagram managed to do was they managed to get this amazingly viral audience, right? 30 million users in less than 2 years is crazy, and it's so much that any big industry giant is going to take notice. It's 30 million users, Radhika. So you must realize 30 million users is a large number. $30 per user, that's not too bad. The average acquisition for any company in the mobile space is about $50 a user. They took funding from Sequoia Capital just 2 days before big Facebook acquisition, and that was a valuation of $500 million. So $500 million to $1 billion in 2 days, why not take?
Clearly, this company has no revenue as to speak of, as you said earlier. So is the user base the biggest asset for an app company? And what will future app developers look at? First get the user base, and then we can get the profits and the money out of it.
I think to answer your question, yes, that's the Silicon Valley formula. The number of users is clearly key, and the number of users finally has to be backed by a method for monetization, right? And there's one point in time where traction turns into revenues. And for it to turn into revenues, it requires a completely different set of skills. You can't be a 13-employee company if you want to make revenues. I think everyone realizes the power of monetizing photographs on a social network, right? And if engagement is proportional, if photographs is proportional to engagement is proportional to revenues, then hey, the company everybody wants to go after is clearly Instagram.
So now Zuckerberg says that he will run Instagram as an app independently and nothing will happen to the large amount of users that it has. But if you pay $1 billion for something, how much are we going to see of Instagram on Facebook? What is Faceagram going to look like?
Facebook has Facebook ads, and they have a very strong ad sales team, and we will soon see that advertising, that ad network coming to play on Instagram and on photographs. We might also see Facebook toning down its photography features, and just like Google Video was knocked down
Shut
after
down.
YouTube scaled, we might see the same thing. I don't see a reason for Instagram users to be worried. I mean, there are a lot of the big call on the internet that you should be worried, but not necessarily. I think hopefully the god of the internet, Mark Zuckerberg, knows what he's doing.
Let's talk about which other companies are going to be under the acquisition radar now. Google has clearly lost out on Instagram.
Google's been losing for a while.
Google's been losing for quite some time now. Pinterest and other companies like that are going to be in the radar now.
Absolutely. Pinterest, very popular with the female folks. Radhika probably has her own Pinterest list out there. Pinterest has certainly shocked everyone with how quickly it's gained scale. And it's all happened in the last 12 months. Spotify for music, again, very intuitive application, very good to use. We can't use it here in India, but if you use it overseas, it's fantastic. And Dropbox, of course. Dropbox is a story which is scaling on its own. But if you were to ask me, I don't see Dropbox being acquired because Dropbox has sort of gained tremendous scale by itself, and it's not in the social networking space. But Pinterest and Spotify might come under the hammer soon, especially Pinterest, but not immediately. It will take a while for Pinterest to grow.
Do you see any success stories like Instagram happening from India? Any startups that can have the same amount of potential?
So, Radhika, it's not so much about the product, it's also about the market, right? There have been startups in India which have developed very, very cool, uber cool business to consumer product applications which have been very good, right? Which have been remarkably good. We just don't have that crazy viral culture over here with a whole bunch of people going gung-ho using the mobile application or using the web because we just don't have the numbers. E-commerce in India is of course still big, and for all e-commerce fans, India will still, the transaction economy, once that builds, we'll see these things coming to the fore. Just like in America, Amazon happened almost a decade ago, and now all these other companies are sort of coming
Sudeep,
to the
just
fore.
between you and me, do you think we're in the completely the wrong business here? Come on, $1 billion.
I agree, Radhika, completely. I think Radhika and me are going to get away, and we're going to work on our own billionaire idea.
Exactly. The billionaire idea is going to happen very soon, but Faceagram wasn't the only one in the news this week. Plenty of other companies made headlines. Coming up is all the news of the week.
Tech world was buzzing with loads of new launches and announcements this week. So let's get straight into some action. First up, Denmark luxury and sound design company Bang & Olufsen is finally here in India, and they have appointed Shreyans Group as one of their master dealers in India. On the occasion, they also brought their recently launched Biolit 12 portable audio system to India. Biolit 12 features Apple AirPlay for wireless music streaming and also is compatible with most mobile phones and audio players. It is designed to be portable and has built-in power supply and a rechargeable battery. The design of the Biolit 12 speaks volumes for itself.
Yes, of course, we are looking very much on design, and you can see here it has this grid which is made from aluminium, and by the grid you can see a dark color in the holes in between. So the color is only coming from a textile which is behind the grid, and we can change the textile to blue, to yellow, to whatever. But here the color is never aggressive, never dominant, never overwhelming. It's always decent, always in the background. So, and we think this gives the whole product a very elegant touch, which is one example for the design.
The Biolit 12 offers a best-in-class portable sound experience. Its 120-watt digital Class D power amplifier system individually drives 2-inch tweeters and 4-inch woofer to deliver powerful, accurate sound performance that comfortably fills a middle-sized room. Its rechargeable battery has the capacity to charge an iPhone and other connected devices and playback music for up to 8 hours at normal sound levels. Biolit 12 weighs 2.7 kgs and will be available starting June the 1st in select stores in India. Next making news was Airtel. Taking the telecom revolution a step forward in India, sector giant Bharti Airtel this week launched its first 4th generation mobile telephony services in Kolkata. However, if you take a 4G connection now, you will not be able to talk or text through this, as it doesn't offer voice and short message services. Bharti Airtel's 4G services will be available in dongles, which will help get ultra-fast broadband internet access. The company has selected ZTE Corporation to plan, design, deploy and supply 4G network in Kolkata. The company is also planning to come up with a 4G services in Bangalore, Pune and Chandigarh circles soon. Third making news was Logitech. After Microsoft's launch of its touch mouse back in 2011, Logitech came up with a similar kind of a touch mouse called the M600. It features a touch surface and lets you navigate intuitively with your fingers. It's got stylish and comfortable design, and 90% of the mouse has a responsive touch surface. It features gesture recognition and connects wirelessly via a USB port. Logitech Touch Mouse M600 is available at a price tag of Rs 4,000. And finally, last making news was Sony. This week, they launched their flagship 4K resolution projector called the VPL VQ1000ES. It's capable of throwing images with a resolution of 4096 into 2160p. It burns with a brightness of 2000 ANSI lumens, achieving maximum dynamic contrast of 10 lakh:1. It can project a screen size of up to 200 inches. It's the big daddy of projection world for sure, as Sony is going to make this projector available through select dealers across India with a staggering price tag of Rs 14 lakhs.
With all the news, it's time for our second break on the show. But coming up on the other side, we tell you how Google is bringing all the art of the world to your desktops with just a click.